Hello students, here up to in this chapter of motion, you have learned about the motion of an object along a straight line. Now here is the next point, uniform circular motion. When an object moves with constant speed along a circular path, the motion is called uniform circular motion. With some examples, you will understand this concept. The motion of the earth around the sun, it's uniform circular motion. The motion of the moon around the earth, the motion of electrons around the nucleus, or the motion of blades of windmills. All these examples are the examples of uniform circular motion, where these objects move with constant speed along a circular path. So if an object moving along a circular path of radius r takes time t to come back to its starting point, means to complete one revolution, then the distance covered by it is circumference of the circle. So to calculate the speed, we have the formula speed equals to distance upon time, but in this case distance is circumference of the circle. So speed equals to circumference upon time. Formula to find out circumference is 2 pi r. So 2 pi r upon t. So speed of an object in uniform circular motion is calculated by this formula 2 pi r upon t. Then the next important and interesting part from this chapter, that is Newton's laws of motion. Today I will explain the first law of motion in details. Newton's first law of motion. To understand this, first of all you should know about these two types of forces, balanced forces and unbalanced forces. So forces acting on an object which does not change the state of rest or of uniform motion of it are called as a balanced forces. Let me give an example. Suppose you put a book on the table. It is stationary. Okay, now the forces acting on it, which are the forces acting on it? The gravitational force in downward direction and the force exerted by table in upward direction. So these two forces are balanced, means they have equal magnitude and their directions are opposite. Gravitational force is acting in a downward direction and force exerted by table acting in upward direction. So both these are in opposite direction and their magnitude is equal. That's why the book remains at rest. It does not change its position of rest, and that's why these forces are called as a balanced forces. Unbalanced forces, the resultant of two opposite forces acting on object brings it in motion, then they are called unbalanced forces. The better way to explain this is tug of war, where the two teams, they hold a rope, okay, and pull it. The team which applies more force, the rope will head in that direction. When the forces are unbalanced, then they produce a motion in a stationary object, or they can stop a moving object also. And here is the Newton's first law of motion. An object continues to remain at rest or in a state of uniform motion along a straight line unless an external unbalanced force acts on it. Newton's first law explains phenomenon of inertia, hence it is called law of inertia. So what is meant by inertia? Let us see what is meant by inertia. You will understand this law also. Inertia is the tendency of an object to resist a change in its state of rest or of motion. So there are three types of inertia. First is inertia of rest. The inherent property of an object due to which it cannot change its position of rest is called the inertia of rest. For example, while dusting a carpet, we give a jerk to it. The carpet moves, but dust particles remain at rest due to inertia, and hence carpet is cleaned. Just a minute. Hence carpet is cleaned. Okay, carpet moves, but dust particles due to inertia remain at rest, and in this way dust particles are separated from carpet. When a bus starts suddenly, the passengers in it get a backward jerk. So when passengers sit in the bus, the part of the body which is in contact with the bus, it moves along with the bus when it starts, but the upper part of the body which is not in contact with the bus, it tries to remain at the state of rest, and that's why passengers get a backward jerk. Next is inertia of motion. The inherent property of an object due to which it cannot change its state of motion is called as the inertia of motion. Let us understand this with some examples. When a rotating fan is switched off, means force of electricity acting on it is stopped, its blades continue to rotate for some time, because these blades, they cannot change their state of motion, and that's why they continue to remain in the state of motion. A person falls when he jumps from a moving bus. Why is it so? Because when bus is moving, the person has the same speed as the bus. As he jumps off from the bus, his body continues to remain in its state of motion, and that's why this person falls off. And next type is inertia of direction. The inherent property of an object due to which it cannot change its direction of motion is called inertia of direction. While sharpening a knife, sparks fly up tangentially from the grinding stone. You might have seen how these knives are sharpened. So there is a grinding stone which moves in a circular motion. Okay, so when the edge of the knife is put on that grinding stone, some sparks come out of it due to friction, but these sparks do not move in the direction of that grinding stone, but they go straight tangentially because they cannot change their direction of motion. The same way, when a vehicle moves, the mud stick to its wheels, it also flies off tangentially. That's why mud guards are always provided with the vehicles.